Okay, guys, we're back for another TRU-MON show. Yannick, your host, with more than a very special guest. I have three very special guests, but one in particular from Australia, Mr. Santos Bonacci. How are you, Santos?
Very well, thanks, Yannick. Yourself?
Very good, very good. Always great vibes to have you here. And Mar and Jennifer, that are my partner on the TRU-MON show often. How are you, girls?
Hi. Good, good.
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was important to have you, especially with Santos with us on the show. Like it's not, and it's Santos Earth Strong Day today, so happy Earth Strong. I don't like to call it birthday because I don't we really born or die or anything, so I call it Earth Strong because it's your Earth Strong Day. It's your day today, so happy Earth Strong.
Happy Earth Strong. I think he's ahead though, so his birthday was yesterday, right?
Yeah, it's the 25th today, but my birthday's on the 24th of March. Yes, I've turned 53. That equals 8.
Happy
forever
birthday.
Young, forever young.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So today we have a lot of stuff that we want to talk about with Santos, especially Santos going to do us for sure his little presentation like he do pretty much on every show. We expect also you to illuminate us a bit more into a certain subject, especially flat earth, syncretism, vegan we're going to talk about, like anything you want to bring on, my brother, and release the, you know, like we talk about, we have a lot, people talk a lot about Santos being fired up, and he use sometimes vocabulary that's very harsh and very direct, but let me tell you something. We're not talking about the next smoothie recipe here. We're talking about changing this world. What do you expect him to do? To sit down, relax, and take a cup of tea and have fun? It's about changing the world. Of course he's going to rant. Of course he's going to have anger and he's going to release it. We all have it. Look at me all the time on that show. Look at my face. I don't make joke with that. I told you it's not a distraction show. So it's very important to release that, and for sure I approve Santos 100% when he puts out his stuff, for sure. So that's what I had to say to you, Santos, but maybe the girls want to say something before we start.
No, just bring it on, Santos.
Yeah.
You know, of your functional masculine energy that needs to be erupting on this earth and changing everything and saying no to the injustice. So go for it.
Yeah. Well, I have two questions real quick. I just wanted to know when you shifted to the flat earth, because I was so excited last year when I heard you speaking about it, and I just want to know how that occurred.
Oh, great. Yeah, I can talk about that. Thanks, guys. Look, yeah, as for the fire, there's plenty of fire there. I have a Leo ascendant and an Aries sun, obviously born on the 24th of March. So two fire combinations. Pisces moon. Pisces is also a little bit, well, it's the moon is the mind, so it's kind of plays in there too, if you know what you're looking for. If you know what you're looking for, you'll see the Pisces moon in action. But that does not excuse any bad language, and I know I have stooped lower than what I should sometimes, so I don't want to excuse that. I really do not. And I do apologize to anyone that I've hurt. Sincerely I apologize. My purpose here is to share the truth with one and all, and to get us all on the ship of paradise and glory that we can get on. We don't have to be on the citizenship of Roman slavery, guys. Yes. We don't have to partake in this slavery that is going on. There is so much corruption and parasiting of our energy. I have exposed in all of my presentations, many on law and sovereignty, many on astrotheology, and about how religions are zapping us and sapping our energy through parasitic behavior. We do not have to give our glory anymore to these fictional entities that are just taking it through taxes and burdening us with all kinds of ridiculous taxes and expectations and demands and laws and what have you. So yes, there is plenty of fire. We all have fire. We all have love for each other. Yes, I do go a little bit extreme sometimes, and I'm glad that you guys aren't offended. I'm glad that you guys are supportive and loving. And I know that even the people that I offend, I know that they must have a hunch that I'm doing it out of love. And if they don't, well, I'm here to say that it's purely out of love. And I do sincerely apologize from the bottom of my heart if I've offended anyone. But I have done something of recent, guys, since the eclipse and all of the wonderful things that are happening in this beautiful, beautiful Aries. I have made a very, very powerful vow, and this vow I will share with you, and I'm putting my face to this. I know I've said this many times on Facebook. I've said, to hell, I'm done with attacking and having a go at chills, people who don't agree or attack, because I get a lot of attacks.
I bet. Yeah.
Man, you guys, I don't think a lot of people have any idea. I'm sure you do.
I mean, I can only imagine, because what you talk about is so taboo, in especially the Christian community. And I get attacked by Christians all the time because I'm speaking outside the box of religion. So I can't even imagine what you probably get.
Yeah, at first the churchgoers that hated me to death. Then it was the meat eaters, because, you know, I obviously, you know, I go after them too. Now it's the globalists. So I've got lots of groups that hate me so much, you know, just for telling the truth. So, but my vow is this, and here's my face to my vow, that I will not be, I'll not be retaliating anymore to any of these parasitic type people. They make videos about me to try and discredit me, to try and discredit what I'm saying, to try and discredit syncretism and the geocentric flat earth disk movement, which is back. It's here to stay. It's going to bring the truth to the world and save people from the stupidity of globalism and all of this Santa ball buffoonery. We're going to finish with that. We'll dispense with this, and so I've made this vow. I will not do that anymore, and the reason being is I've really discovered through some healing sessions how much energy they take off you. They're only there to steal your energy, and that's it. And they want my energy. I don't know why, but they want my energy. So I'm not giving it to them, and I'm going to keep syncretism honorable. I'm going to keep the truth, give it dignity, and not let my stupid personality destroy the good work that I've done. I'm not going to let my anger and all of my temper and whatever other idiot things that I do, you know, detract people from the truth, and I'm going to try and make it as appealing and as beautiful as possible. There's my promise.
That's beautiful.
People talk. That's what they do. They like to talk, and they like to talk, but you know, don't let them see you frown. That's what I say all the time. And rise and shine. Don't believe their lies, and show them that you will rise and shine, because we need people like you. We need people like we're all very unique, doing our part in this consciousness of humanity, but it's very, very important what you do. Me, anyway, you've been a major role player in my awakening. Like I came to your stuff before the Flat Earth too. So when I came to the Flat Earth and then I saw Santos after coming to the Flat, I was like, wow, that's great. Santos is on. So I was very, very excited, like many people, because I followed you before. So we were all excited when you came onto the Flat Earth. It was like, wow, Santos is on. That's what we needed. That's how I reacted.
And Santos, I just wanted to say one thing about ripping it off and being angry. You know, I think it is time for us, for humanity, to actually rip it off. And I don't care how it comes out, but this illusion and this cement and this gelatin of control has to be ripped off. And sometimes in my videos I talk about, you know, a well-behaved woman would not make history. And in my world I haven't been really well-behaved. But it's not about being well-behaved, because the slave society is always invited to be well-behaved, while the owners are the most how do you say it, not well behaved at all. They're criminals. So in, you know, if we sometimes ranted, it's good for you. And as Mark Passio says, you know, that masculine energy of anger, because anger has to have some functional action in humanity, and systematically the anger of the world has been quieted down and killed. So when I see you like, oh, going for it, nothing bothers me. So I just want you to know that, and you don't owe me or people like me any apology. Thank you for the work that you're doing. And as Yannick said, you know, when you came to the Flat Earth, it was so amazing, because I really wish people like Mark Passio and David Icke and everyone will come on the board too, you know, and then we have a bigger scene.
Yeah.
I think David has already. Sorry. Go ahead.
Hope so. I hope so, Jennifer. I hope so. And yeah, that's lovely, Ma. I appreciate you saying that, and that's very, very kind and very nice. And it is. It's going to be beautiful when these other guys open their eyes like I did. Here I am. I'm a syncretist, and I'm using the geocentric model, and I'm using all of this 93 million miles and spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, and the moon is doing this and everything, using all of these Copernican and Keplerian hypotheses, because that's what they are. Of course, that's what Kepler said in his book Revolutions in 1543. Clearly he said, the hypothesis of a spinning Earth is only useful to describe phenomena. It should not be taken as absolute truth. And here we have the whole world has been seduced by this hypothesis. Gravity also is a hypothesis.
Yes.
Einstein on his deathbed said, there goes all of my crockery and all of the stupidity that I've ever uttered. My castle in the air is naught. It is nothing. It doesn't even exist. Relativity. Tesla, a true genius and vegan, debunked both gravity and relativity, and he laughed at these teachings. He laughed at them. Newton himself said the hypothesis of gravity. Big Bang is a theory. These guys, they clearly come forward and say these are theories. So what we have is we have transcendental truth on one hand, and we have theories of men, which is pseudoscience, the truth of appearances. Now this appeals to the materialist mind. So the guys who you were talking about before, Jennifer, who still haven't opened their eyes, they are intelligent. Yes, they're very intelligent, but they're intelligent in that their material mind is very, very developed. They haven't transcendentalized. They haven't actualized their material mind into the spiritual being. Now, we, on the other hand, we have been humble enough. We have been humble enough to look at the evidence. Now, it's only a question of humility. It's the heart. It's not the mind. It's not that they're too stupid to understand that we live on a flat plane, because we live on a flat plane. It's always been a flat plane, and it always will be. So what is blocking them? Well, it's the heart. And so these people on the left here, they need to stay with the crowd mind. This is why the Bible says, beware of the crowd. It's a herd mentality, and they're too scared. They have so much fear, and they want to stay with where the crowd. Yeah, they're looking around with their team, you know, and everybody's still on the same team. Yeah. So they're still that. But what we've done is we've been humble enough with our hearts to look at the evidence, and the evidence has convinced us, not seduced us. They've been seduced by theories and hypotheses. They have been seduced. So, and the thing is this, should we be wrong, let's say tomorrow we find, you know, NASA comes out with real photos now, thousands of them, proving that we live on a globe. Well, I know, and I can speak for you guys too, because I know that you're of the same substance as me in character. We'll just turn around and say, well, we were wrong, and that's great.
Yeah.
Now we know where we really live.
My life. That's
Absolutely.
What I keep saying to people. If they show us a picture, I'm not going to start being depressed. I'm just going to go on with my life. It's not about the shape of the earth, first of all. It's about our own spirituality, our own. The truth is who you are. It's not necessarily, it's who you are.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I agree.
About,
I say that all the time, is that it's not about the shape of the earth. It's about being so open, like you said, humble, that I'm actually letting go, relinquishing my very existence and stepping into something totally bigger than I ever imagined. You know, that the fact that we've relinquished the very place we live upon shows that we're not thinking with our ego. It's something deeper within us that is intuitive, you know.
And I
Yes.
just wanted to add one more thing, that knowing that Vatican owns all the telescopes in the world, and their biggest telescope and the most famous telescope called Lucifer, I don't care what kind of pictures they give me. I'm not going to give up the flag.
It's so true.
I'm not going to just change my path because of one picture they show.
yeah,
No,
look.
I mean, if they show up, but they won't show up at the picture there because they can't. It's way too freaking big, first of all, so forget about that.
Yes.
It's too big.
Yeah.
It's just too big. No, and I don't think they can come up with. They can come up with a flat picture, maybe taking a picture from maybe a certain height, but there's a certain distance you can go. You cannot go indefinitely up. Everything that goes up, comes down. So.
Yeah.
So what were you saying, Santos? That if they show you a picture, you go back and then what?
Well, if we have evidence, which we don't have, so the globalists have not a shred of evidence, not even one thing. They can't even bring one argument to the table, whereas the truthers and the truth has presented so much evidence, and I'm going to talk about some of those evidences that cannot be denied. They are irrefutable today, if you'll allow me. But the point is this. The point is this: if we live on a globe, that's great. It's still amazing, because we don't know and understand how this was made and how it was put here, because the creator of it is just so amazing. Whether we live on a globe and we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour and orbiting at 66.6 thousand miles around the sun, and all the other motions, that's still, I mean, it is still amazing. Globalists who believe in this theory, they should stop and think, wow, that is just absolutely amazing if it's true. And if it's true, well and good, because it is just so astounding that we should stop and give glory to the maker of this system. That's the point. And equally, if it's a flat earth, however it's sustained, however it's held up, so that what is heaven, what is upward is up, and what is down, and whatever is holding this mass, and whatever is holding all the other universes, because according to Bhagavad Gita, this is not the only universe. There are millions and millions of systems like this system that we live in. So whoever has done this, and I know who it is, of course, because I've studied the scriptures. So that one there is to be praised, and we need to give glory to that one. And we are partakers in that creation. This is what they don't understand. Now, a lot of people don't understand that whoever is responsible, and we are partially responsible for this beautiful creation, together with the creator, prime source, who I call Krishna, others call Christ, and others Allah. We need to work out how we can all get together as one, and how we can all come to the true knowledge of this cosmos and stop arguing and stop fighting. This is not a reason for us to get up on our soapboxes and our high horses and try to, I don't know, try to discredit others and make others look ridiculous. Yes, guilty. I'm guilty. But deep down, what my intention is, and yours, and most of the flat earthers, is so that we can have some unity between us, so that we can foster communication and open up the lines of evidence and science sharing, and so we can all come together and not be divided. Because the moment we are divided, the parasites come in and harvest our energy, and we can be a formidable force for truth if we are all humble enough to take egos out of the way, right out of the way, and look at the evidence and let the evidence
put away the false pride. I say it all the time. We have to put away the false pride. Each one to each one. Don't be afraid to reach out to each other, to reach out. Like a year ago, Santos, I would have been able to make the mental leap. I would have been here with you today. But just because I put my heart into it, all my mind into it, and decided to set my life as an example, look where I am tonight. So nothing is impossible. If you have God in your heart, if you believe, you have faith, everything is possible. But you know what's happening with humanity? We came to a point where we're denying our own intelligence, because we go outside and we look at the sun, the moon, and the stars. We see it, an intelligence behind it. For sure, there's an intelligent design behind it. But now we're at the point that, okay, if this is created by an intelligent design, and I'm capable of thinking and have consciousness, I don't come from the same intelligent design. Like, it doesn't make sense. People have lost their way.
Yeah.
Santos, what do you say to people, and I'm just speaking from people saying this to me, when you say we need to come together and unite, they're going to say, well, that's just one world religion. That's going down a... I mean, I'm just asking what your response is to people who say that.
Well, this is because the concept of unity is a concept that everyone understands, and so do the controllers, the parasites. So they give us their version of let's contribute to the collective and let's unite. You know, so they have an ecumenical type of uniting structure, such as, for instance, the Vatican. In the late 80s, they gathered in Assisi, Italy, and all the churches and all the religious leaders gathered so that they could unite. That's not the uniting that I'm talking about. The uniting is from humanity, from the truth, from a true place, organically, not from, you know, think tanks like the Club of Rome and the black nobilities, the Khazarian and the Zionists' way of uniting, so that they can unite us and put us in a paddock like they do with cows, and then bring us into their abattoirs so that they can butcher us. Not that uniting, you know. So people get confused because they don't know which. Syncretism is the glue and unity of the universe, and only syncretism will unite us and save us, because only syncretism is neutral. Christianity cannot do it. They've lost their chance because they're biased and prejudiced. Judaism cannot do it. They've lost their chance. Islam cannot do it. They have lost their chance. Hinduism, the religions, they cannot do it. It has to be something that is neutral, and syncretism is neutral. And syncretism embraces the Quran, it embraces the Bible, it embraces Bhagavad Gita and all the sciences, alchemy, astrology, all the theologies, all the philosophical schools, Neoplatonism, Hermeticism, Stoicism. You can throw them all in. because they all work, and they are all languages. They are languages made by demigods, made by humans, made by the Creator, for us to have variety, for us to have enjoyment, and for us to see the unity. You know, when you, if you're a painter and you like green colors, and you use a lot of greens, another painter uses a lot of reds, that doesn't mean you have to hate their work. If you speak English, doesn't mean you have to hate Japanese. That doesn't make Japanese a pseudo-language, because you can't understand it. It's just another language, and you may want to learn it. That's why astrology. Some people say, "Oh, well, do you believe in astrology?" And I say, "No, I just know it. I speak the language of astrology. I speak Italian. I don't believe in it. I don't have to believe in it. I don't believe in English to speak it. I just know it and speak it." So syncretism is like this, and it is the glue, and it is syncretism that will unite us, because we all have it in our hearts. And what is syncretism? Syncretism is the ability to see the interrelatedness of all things. That's it. If you're a syncretist, you're not a divider, because the opposite of syncretizing, syncing everything up in your head, as synchronicity is syncing everything up in time, everything that is synchronous happens, syncs up in time. So if you're a syncretist, you can sync things up in your mind, in your heart, and you're not controlled by the philosophy of divide and conquer, compartmentalization, box them over there, you know, put everything in pigeonholes and what have you. We don't need to do that. That Rome has been doing that for so long, to divide us, to rule us, to harvest us, to give us bread and circus, distractions, terrorism, false flags, just so that they can keep getting more and more taxes and tolls and levies and collecting here and rates and all kinds of money flowing into Babylon the Great. So the only way to starve Babylon the Great is with truth, syncretism.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you for explaining the difference. I mean, I understand the difference, but I know people without watching are going to bring that up, and there's a huge difference.
Huge. Massive difference. Massive. What the world gives, what the clever controllers give us is co-opted, artificial, manufactured versions of true systems. So, for instance, Islam today, a lot of people are afraid of Islam, and so they should be, because it's a corporate structure. But if you go to the Quran, you will find true Islam, and it's just submission and surrender to Isis, Islam, the way of Isis, the Queen of Heaven, or even Allah, God, it's same thing, and submit and surrender to that loving Creator. But Christianity, again, look at all the Jesus said, "You will know them by their fruits."
Yes.
Many will say to him that day, "Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy? Did we not heal in your name? Did we not expel demons and perform many powerful works in your name?" And I will say to them in that day, "Get away from me, you workers of lawlessness. I never knew you," because they go around killing. In the Americas, they killed all the indigenous people. Here in Australia, it was Christians who came here to kill. But were they really Christians? Well, no, that's not a Christian. I'm a Christian, and Christians love. I'm Islam. I love the Quran, and I practice it. And these are true teachings. So what we see is commercial, corporate versions of these. They are not real. They have been manufactured. They have been devised and co-opted so as to bring people into their organizations and control their thinking and divert them from the true thinking, which is, well, what is the truth? Well, the truth is in the Bible. It's in Bhagavad Gita. It's in our sacred texts. And another thing about these sacred texts is that they all concur that we live on a geocentric, flat disk Earth, all of them. So whether these people who are blocked and still cannot see what we see, whether they ridicule us or not, we are the ones who are connected with all the ancient, sacred, and holy writings. All of them. All of them. All of them. Every single one of them. The Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Mayans, the Chinese, the Indian, the Persians, the Assyrians, the Romans, the Greeks, all of them, every single one of them, they all understood the flat Earth plane. And this all changed. This all changed in the Iron Age, when the Copper or the Bronze Age was ending about 2,000 years ago, around the time of Aristotle. The last of the true teachers was really the Socrates, Plato, Pythagoras, and all of these great ones. When Plato and Aristotle parted company, what caused them to part company was Plato spiritualized and became a mystic from a philosophical, a speculative philosophical position that he was with all his writings, and Aristotle remained a materialist. And so Aristotle really just continued with the materialist teachings, and from Aristotle we have the root of materialism and the globe, and that everything in the world is just a material structure, and it has no spiritual causes, and etc. etc. So
it's very easy to match the dot when you look backward.
And Santos, I wanted to add one thing here, because I grew up in an Islamic society in Iran, and I always heard that the Earth is the center of the universe. So in that way, I understood it. But as I gave up my interest in any of the standard religions or the religions that are made by the system, what do you call them, organized religions, now my question with them is that we always say that the basis of them is the truth, yet I think, like even in Islam, when it says that we created all the animals for you to enjoy and eat their flesh, I think that has been injected by the parasitic controllers into all religions, and it is in all the holy books also. That's what I don't understand. I don't know about you guys know better about Bible. I don't know about Torah, but we see the way that they practice. I mean, the blood sacrifices is all over. So I don't think that they're really from God. I really think that they are man-made.
Yeah, they've been redacted, sister. They've been redacted. Make no mistake about this, that they have been redacted. How do you know this? Well, easy. In the scriptures it says, "Thou shalt not kill." So, on the one hand, you can see clearly that the Quran does not encourage killing of anything, of any life at all. And then on the other hand, you see that they've changed the words to suggest that meat eating is okay. I'll tell you why this happened. And this did happen, and it happened around the time of Aristotle. This all happened around the time of Aristotle. What they did was they introduced meat eating, because the entities that control us come from the subterranean planets. They don't. These aliens and the Anunnaki and all of these interlopers and interferers, and the ones who have upgraded our DNA, they come from the subterranean planets. It's quite simple. And there are 7 subterranean planets.
And what do you mean by the subterranean planets?
Like the underneath the Earth planes, you mean?
Let me show you. And let me not get off track, but here is the system of this is a chart from the Hare Krishnas from Bhagavad Gita. It shows how the world is made. There's the creator at the pink lotus at the top. That's Krishna's abode called Vrindavan. And then below that you have This is Vaikuntha, where Vishnu, the Lord of the universe, resides. He is below Krishna and Radharani, Queen of Heaven. And then below that is Kailasa, the place of Shiva. Then there's Brahmajyoti, the white light of the effulgence and the creative external energy of the Creator. And this is the world in which we live. This is the universe of the material world. And this is one universe. And as you can see, there's many of these universes. See these bubbles?
Yeah.
These are like, when we look out and we see through the firmament, most of the fixed stars are in the firmament of the vault or the dome above our heads. But when we look at an Andromeda galaxy, for instance, what we're seeing is other universes and other systems like ours. And this is how it works here, where there are 15 planets. And so what you can see here is the Earth, which unfortunately here is a sphere. The Hare Krishnas have got this one wrong here. But there's the Earth in the middle. It's called the Midgard. And then below that there are 7 planets. And these are called 7 subterranean heavenly planets. The bottom one is known as a hellish planet. And these are populated with creatures. They are below the Earth, the disk. So there are 7 more disks below the Earth. And then above that you have the 7 heavenly planets of the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And so they are 15 planets in all. And so this is the higher octave. This is a diatonic octave of heavenly planets. And this is, including the Earth, you have a subterranean diatonic octave. So you have 2 octaves here, okay? It's 15 system planet. And as you can see here, the lower planets are gross. The Earth is a mixture of gross and subtle energies. And then the planets above us, i.e. Jupiter and Saturn and all of those, they are subtle. And so our controllers come from here. These so-called...
As above, so below, the 7 luminaries up there, or planets, whatever, you find the same below the Earth.
Yeah,
except that they're denser and darker.
It's all about density. It's all about what Tesla said. It's all about what Tesla said. The whole universe. If you want to understand the universe, you must understand energy, frequency, and vibration. That's it. You're correct, Ma. It's all about density. The Earth has a density which is in the middle. It's gross and subtle. That's why it's called, in the Scandinavian and the Nordic mythologies, it's called the Midgard, the middle garden. And in our bodies, it's the heart. The heart. You see, the heart is an anagram of Earth. I'll show you this. So, sorry for hogging all the...
We want you to.
So
my next question, as you're explaining this, can you tell me if we get to a place of a higher vibration in this lifetime, do we go further in the next lifetime, or do we get stuck here? That's my fear.
Sister, if we do the correct things, and one of the correct things, so we'll go back to where I started in this conversation about meat eating and how the scriptures have been corrupted and redacted. They've been corrupted by the subterraneans, the aliens, and it's a demonic teaching to murder animals, to murder them, not slaughter, murder. This is murder. They are sentient beings. They are being murdered in abattoirs and butchered, so that we can indulge in the cult of death, and we can be zombies and goyim, and we can be misled, and we can be harvested, and we will reincarnate back to this place.
Okay.
We'll be.
I'm vegetarian. I'm vegan, so I'm good to go.
Yeah, for sure. And so they did this because meat eating is the #1 way of corrupting humans, corrupting their blood with putrefied, putrefying dead corpse. When you go to the fridge and pull out, you know, a piece of steak or a piece of pig, you know, I call it pig's bum. People are eating animals' bums, right? So when you go to the fridge, you pull out some bum and you fry it and you eat it. You are practicing the cult of death, and this is the opposite of life. We must be life bearers and light bearers. And when we do this properly, when we learn how to chant the holy names of God, for instance, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is called Harinam. When you do Harinam, this is the greatest chant you can possibly sing. If you do this 1,000 times a day, you will go to Vrindavan. You will go to Vrindavan, that where the pink lotus of Krishna is. You do not have to come back to suffer in cycles of birth and death. And this is these. You know, I used to laugh at the Hare Krishnas. I used to be a street performer, and I used to play my guitar in the plazas and in the malls, shopping malls, and the Hare Krishnas would come by, and I'd turn my volume up because we used to laugh at them for how happy they were. But why were they so happy? Because this is a great secret. Their chant, the Mahamantra, it goes back thousands and thousands of years. And the Bhagavad Gita clearly says that the only way to reach Vrindavan in the Kali Yuga is to chant Harinam, the Mahamantra, those 16 words. Because yoga is good, meditation is good, holy practices, all kinds of things are good, but they are all deficient. The highest way to reach Vrindavan is to sing. And you see, don't they make you look silly when you're singing praises and hymns? You know, they want you to, oh, that's silly. You know, you go to work and be a dentist, be a doctor. You know, be busy buying things and paying taxes. Don't go around singing. The secrets of everlasting life are very, very simple. They're very simple. And the Mahamantra is the number one. So Earth...
I think Santos' life has to be simple. It cannot be very complicated. So it has to be simple. Do good, and good will come to you.
Oh wow! I've never even seen that before. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So when you saw that graph that I drew, when you saw that graphic there, and you saw the Earth is in the middle, the mid-guard. In your body, you have 7 chakras. And so the heart is the mid-guard.
The mid-guard.
Mid-garden.
Garden.
And so it's the middle garden. That's why the heart chakra is green, because the earth is green. And then the throat chakra is blue, because when you look up, you see a blue sky. And then the 2 chakras in the head, they are purple. They are indigo and violet. Because the heavens are this color. They are high vibrating. Those are the highest vibrating colors that the human eye can see before it turns white. You see, we can't see white light, but the highest vibrating color is indigo, violet. Ultraviolet we can't see. We can see underviolet, but we can't see ultraviolet. So the Aryan crown chakra, Aries is in the head. This is the purple ram, the purple Lamb of God, decked in purple. But the green lion, Leo is the heart, and Leo is always a green lion. Okay? The green lion is the mid-guard. And so when you look below the green earth, the green heart, what do you see? Well, you see a yellow-colored chakra, an orange, and a red. And those are the colors of low vibration. Those are low frequencies. Those are very long frequencies, and that's the color of hell. So what you see, the 7 diatonic colors of the chakras in your body, they match the 7 planets above. The heart is actually the earth, and it's also the sun. Why? Because the sun and the earth have an interrelated yearly orbit, or what they call a yearly orbit or relationship. Let's call it that. So they speak to each other, and through the ecliptic. The ecliptic is a yearly, the year-long cycle of the sun as it goes around and around and around above the Earth, and it goes up to the Tropic of Cancer. So the sun actually goes round and round like this, goes up to the Tropic of Cancer, goes through the equator, and there's the Tropic of Capricorn. So the sun makes like a pyramid. And so when the sun is going clockwise at the Tropic of Cancer on the 21st of June at the solstice, it's going very slow and it's doing very small circles. But as it unwinds, this is like a torus field here, this is like a vortex. The sun unwinds, gets faster and faster, goes through the equator, and we're here now at the moment. We're on the 25th of March, and the sun's coming up this way, right? And so as it goes down that way, it goes to the Tropic of Capricorn. It does really large and fast circles, and it actually speeds up. The sun's variable speed. The moon is not. The moon does not vary.
I have a question, Santos. According to your research, does the altitude of the moon and the sun vary in the sky? Because to me, visually, I think the moon altitude is varying. Maybe not the sun, but the moon seems, because she's bigger, sometimes smaller, at the same spot on the horizon. So does her altitude vary?
That's a good question.
Yes. The sun does yearly TP type vortex like that. Here's Capricorn, here's Cancer, and here's the equator. Yeah. And this is why you can always see a midnight sun in the northern, what they call the northern hemispheres in Norway and everything like that, because the sun is high. But when the sun gets down here to the Tropic of Capricorn, it's low. It's much, much lower and closer to the Earth. Much closer. So the sun is variable height, variable speed. But the moon is also. The moon does this kind, an upside down vortex, every 2 weeks. So the moon is going down here 2 weeks, up 2 weeks, up and down like this.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. So as the sun takes 6 months to go from Capricorn to Cancer, the moon is doing 6 of these, interacting with the sun. So sometimes the moon is closer. The moon, we can see her bigger when she's here and smaller when she's here. In fact, the sun is larger at Capricorn, and this is a fact. It's much larger at Capricorn than it is in Cancer. When people from the northern hemisphere come to our summer in December here, they see a bigger sun like they've never seen before.
Ah, that's it.
Yeah.
When you travel, everything explains, eh?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about?
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Go for it.
If the sun, okay, someone asked me this question, and I had it in my head. If the Earth is flat and the sun's going around the Tropic of Capricorn, and then in the summertime, South America gets longer sun, how does that work if it's going around and leaving the South America when it's moving around? I know I didn't explain that very well.
And I think I was asked another question in those terms, that if that was the case, the sun, should take, every day should be like 34 hours or something. That was a question that came because the peripheries of the circle or a square or whatever it's much larger. And if the sun is going to go around it, is it going slower? And it should take more than 24 hours or 12 hours. That's another one in that realm that I don't understand.
And just before you go on, Santos, you remember this week I talked to you about the time change that we all don't do and do. Could the path of the sun, like you explained as a cone, has something to do with those time change that they play with? Like in Jamaica now, he's an hour behind me. Like I'm an hour ahead of him, and I'm never like that in the winter, only in the summer that it's like that. So could that explain it?
Okay, well, the sun is being the effect of the sun, because the sun is not solid, man. There's no solidity to it at all. The sun is electrical, powered by magnetism.
Yes.
So inside the sun, what we can't see in the sun is a hyperboloid and toroidal magnetic field. We can't see that. What we see is an electrical effect. It's all electrical. No hydrogen fusion, none of that helium BS.
No plasma, no nothing in there. Electrical.
And it comes from here. From this, there's something magnetic at the North Pole. They call it Mount Meru.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
Or Mount Sumeru. Some call it Sumeru, and this Meru is in the Jewish system is Moriah, Mount Moriah, where Abraham seeks to sacrifice Isaac and all of that, where the temple was built on Mount Moriah. Moriah is so very, very important. So everywhere around the planet you'll see Merus and Moriahs everywhere replicated, because in the center, this is the North Pole. This is the South Pole here. That's what they call the South Pole. And this is the Tropic of Capricorn. This is the Tropic of Cancer. And this is the equator. So the variable speed sun, the sun does not vary its speed in reality, only in effect.
Okay.
Only
It varies.
Because it's closer, the circle's smaller.
Yeah, because it's being projected from here, the magnetic mountain. So when the sun is here at Capricorn, and it has to, obviously, to go around here, this is double the distance at the Tropic of Capricorn than at the Tropic of Cancer, obviously. So is it actually going faster literally, physically? No, it's not. It's an effect. It is, this turns 24 hours every day. It's 24 hours comes from here. That's our clock, magnetic mountain. So when the sun, so when the sun is at the top of the vortex at Cancer, magnetic mountain, which is turning it like a clock, whether it's here or whether it's here, this turns at the same speed. That's why the days are always 24 hours, regardless of whether the sun's at the Tropic of Cancer or at the equator or at the Tropic of Capricorn. The length of day versus night changes. Yes, that has to change. But a day, you don't get a 30-hour day here and then a 20-hour day over here. It's always 24 hours.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's right. So the speed is the same. Yeah. But some people say that the speed of the sun vary according to tropic, that it would go slower in the Tropic of Cancer and faster on the other one. So that's really what they say. But what you say now, it makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, as an effect, it's like, okay, you're in a train. Okay, so you're in a train. And you're traveling 100 miles an hour. The trees that are only a mile away are zipping past you, but the trees at the mountain way 100 miles in the background, they don't even look like they're moving.
But they're coming at the same speed.
Exactly, but they're all still. So all the trees don't move. You're moving. So it's an effect that this tree is moving faster than the tree behind. So what we're actually witnessing here, when the sun has to travel all of this distance, and so it must make double the journey at the Tropic of Capricorn, but it's an effect because the effect is occurring because of the focal energies of whatever is, however it works. As magnetic mountain sends that focal electrical energy to this focal point called the sun. And this focal point, see, if we look at this vault of heaven, let's have a look at the vault of heaven, you'll understand this better. So here's the flat Earth.
Santos, I just wanted to say, it's not just the North Pole that is magnetic. I was talking to my daughter today. The entire thing is magnetic. The Earth is magnetic. I mean, the sun and the moon move because it is a magnetic Earth, and the most potent magnetic place of it is the center of the Earth, which is the North Pole, of course. Yet everything, I mean, everything is magnetic. Our bodies are magnetic.
Yep, everything. The tides of the water has magnetism. Yeah. Everything has this, everything is centered by the controller of the universe, magnetism. It is an intelligent, conscious power, not a force.
Mm-hmm.
The force is electrical. This is why the great Walter Russell said, God only uses one force to create everything in existence, and that is electricity.
Electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Electricity is red and blue. Fire and water, two of the astrological elements. Have a look at the South Korean flag. Have a look carefully at the South Korean flag, and it tells you exactly how everything works. Study that flag.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Study all the flags that are red, white, and blue, including the English flag with the Union Jack. The Union Jack is the Union Jacob. Jacob is the sun. The sun is electrical. It is red and blue. It is red and blue. Everything is red. Electricity is red and blue. Magnetism is white light. Magnetism is the centering, white, conscious, ever-present, omnipresent, omnipotent force, let's call it a force, of the Creator.
Santos, I don't think it's a coincidence that the police car has red and blue lights on top.
Ambulance. Yeah.
I always been suspicious on that. I said, why do they? Because I know it's Masonic color, red and blue, but I said, now I think it's more related to what you say, but it's nothing is coincidence with those people. It's all planned, it's all organized. If you think that they have red and blue light on their cop car just because it's red, no, it has a meaning. Everything in the field, they make it vibrate to their level. So yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, because this creates panic and confusion. Red is fiery, urgency, energy, go, fire. Blue is motherly energy, calming waters of the womb of the mother, the ocean. Calm down.
Yeah.
Fire up. Calm down. Fire up. So they control you. They get out of their police cars. And they're in control now because they've got the colors of electricity flashing in your face.
Yeah.
And everybody somehow, when they get pulled over by a police, you always get that feeling inside, not because you have something to hide or you think you're going to be taken away or something, but because of the color, I believe that the vibrational level, everybody gets affected when you see a cop behind you. I don't care who you are, I don't care where you're from, but for sure you have not an anxiety feeling, but I mean you have that little tension just to see the light.
Yeah, I do. I know.
Yep. So let's see if we can understand this. I'm not saying that the dome is this shape, the vault of heaven, in which all the stars are in this dome, guys. All of them, except for the wandering stars, Saturn, Jupiter, in this order. Please learn this order. You will learn this order in my presentations. Sad and unhappy is anyone who has not seen my astrotheology presentations. Really, sad and unhappy and clueless. Clueless. There's only one way of understanding everything, and that is the sine wave.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them over and over and over.
Me too. They changed my life. They really did.
When you understand that, you understand everything. I feel sorry for anyone who has not seen Syncretism presentations. I won't say my presentations because they're not mine. They are the creators, and we all created this sine wave. But sad and miserable and unhappy and clueless is anyone who doesn't understand the sine wave, the sin of Eve. Look at those words carefully. Sine wave, sin of Eve. And then you'll understand all things. Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun. Remember, I was talking about the Earth and the Sun being in the middle garden, the Earth, the heart. Venus, Mercury, Moon, above our heads, inside the dome are the 7 heavens. This is what's called the starry heavens. No, this is the starry heavens. This is called, there are 7 heavens anyway. I'll get to that in a minute. So here's the Earth here, right? Here's Mount, let's put a mountain here, we'll call it Mount Meru. Yeah. Now, when the Sun, at the Tropic of Cancer, let's say the Tropic of Cancer is here, and the circles the Sun makes are like this. At the Tropic of Capricorn, the Sun is lower and it makes bigger circles. So if this is turning at 24 hours every day, this is turning the Sun and controlling the Sun. Obviously, when the Sun's here and it's doing 24-hour circles, it appears to be much slower than when the Sun is being directed from down here, from Mount Meru. This now appears to be going much faster because it's wider. But it's not. It's just that the light here travels a little bit further, or whatever, this magnetic or electrical pulse that is focusing on the Sun and creating the effect of the Sun. This is what's creating the illusion of the differential in speed. But there's no, the Sun doesn't, it doesn't even speed. It's just an effect. The Sun is just an empty, it's empty, it's an effect, right? So, but what does really the differential of height, that is real. You can even go to Wikipedia and you can look up these words. Apo. I think it's APH, but anyway, apohelium, and here is perihelium. Apohelium, perihelium. Now, for all the globalists who will laugh at this and say, "Oh, the sun's more further away and it's closer." Well, just go to Wikipedia, put those words in, and you will see that the globalists are teaching this already. And I used to teach this in my presentation when I was a heliocentrist, that the Sun is 4 million miles further away from the Earth at the Tropic of Cancer than it is at the Tropic of Capricorn. So everyone agrees with this, regardless of their model. They don't have to be geocentrists. The whole world, everything on the internet, all websites that talk about cosmology and our Earth and how it's made, all of them agree that the Sun is further away at the Tropic of Cancer, and this is literal, not the effect of the speed. The speed, the variable speed of the Sun, that is an effect. But this is real, and it has to do with this, the dome, something to do with the volt and how that whatever the Sun, however the Sun works, whether it's encased in some other kind of structure that causes it to to be seen the way it is, or whether the dome is actually this shape and it's caused by what I'm displaying here, regardless, the Sun is further away. Now, because I believe that the Sun's only a few thousand miles up, I think the difference is only a few hundred miles. Okay, so this is why you have so much discrepancy. Some researchers are saying, oh, the Sun's 3,300 miles high. Some are saying, oh, it's only 1,500 miles high. Well, depends which part of the year you're measuring the height of the Sun. And the moon. So
then the 4 million doesn't stand right in this model, because there is no way that it could be 4 million times higher or lower.
Exactly. So at the Tropic of Cancer at apohelium, I'm saying it the Greek way, but I think the English way of saying it is aphelium. At aphelium, which is June the 21st, the solstice. No, sorry, it's not. It's 10 days after. On July 4th, pay attention, July 4th, Independence Day, that is the day of aphelion, when the sun is supposedly in the heliocentric model 3 to 5 million miles further away from the Earth than when it's at perihelion. Peri means closest to. Helium is the sun. The closest point the sun interacts with the Earth is perihelion. Aphelion is the furthest. So regardless of whether it's 5 million miles or 100 miles or whatever, it is a variable height sun. That is a fact. They can argue the speed. They can argue the speed because it's an effect, and they will never understand it. Materialist heliocentrists will never understand this.
I'm sorry, I just have to bring this in. You know, in one of my videos, I was talking about the bottom of the Earth, which is the ass of the globe, is much closer to the sun in the summer. I mean, how could that be?
Oh, the video you did that under the globe.
It just doesn't make any sense, you know. It's like, how could it be that the bottom of the Earth is closer to the sun in the summer?
That makes,
yeah, and the whole South Pole, or whatever we call the Antarctic, is not melting away.
Right. She showed it on a globe, like it's tilted toward the sun, and yeah.
Yeah, let's do the globe model. Let's do the globe model. Okay, here's the globe model. So we've got this ball here spinning. Actually, it's 23.4 now. Let's be careful here, because
I'm gonna tell you.
Because the remainder of 23.4 is 66.6.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay. Now, so here's the tilt. Here's the sun. Sol Invictus, the invincible sun, Sol Invictus. And in the Hebrew system, his name is Sol Amun, the hidden one, Solomon. And Solomon rides on his carpet, his magic carpet. Well, the Quran tells you that the Lord Allah stretched out the earth like a carpet. It is a carpet. And Sol Invictus, Sol Amun, who is the sole ruler of the universe, soul, and who is our soul in our hearts, because that's what it means. The soul rules Leo, the lion, in the heart. This is Sol Invictus in the middle garden. The earth and the sun, they have this relationship, okay? Now, so supposedly, let's get Solomon. There's Solomon, and there's his. It's actually a carpet. It's spread out like a carpet. So supposedly, at the Tropic of Capricorn. So this, let's say this is summer. So what they say is that here in Australia now, in the southern, this is the south, this is the north. Now we are getting that 3,000 miles of. So the Earth's diameter is about 8,000 miles, yeah?
Yes.
So the difference, if we put a straight line through here, the difference here between here and here now will only be a couple of thousand miles, yeah? So America's freezing and we're in summer. How can that possibly be if the sun's 93 million miles away? Please, please, please. How can that be? This is ridiculous. And they use these words, oh, it's preposterous, the flat earth. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. They use all these words. This yes. is ridiculous. And you know, and what they do is they tell you that there is an elliptical orbit. So we have elliptical. So anything they tell you this BS about orbits. They're all elliptical. What a crock. So for instance,
totally.
Supposedly there's the Earth and the Moon has an elliptical orbit. Let's exaggerate it. So this is why when the Moon's here, the Moon looks bigger than when the Moon's here. Yeah, that's how they describe it.
but they want us to be so dizzy with the whole thing that they even make the spin of the Earth go anti-clockwise, not clockwise. To say, oh, we're going to go clockwise, we're going to be orientated. No, anti-clockwise, spin like everything is upside down, nothing makes sense.
Yet the stars have always been the same constellations for thousands and thousands of years while we're drilling through space.
Let's do that one, Jennifer. Let's do that one, please. I love that one. Right. Parallax. So yes. If you're in a train and you're traveling that a ways at 100 miles an hour, and this tree here is going to be flying that way at 100 miles an hour, right? Mm-hmm. So you're going to be seeing these trees that are close to you in the train here. You're going to be seeing them go fling, 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 fling. They're going to be flinging by, but these ones appear in the mountains after about an hour of journey. They've only done very, very little movement, haven't they? Right. So let's remember this. That's parallax. Okay. Now let's hop on a spinning globe now, shall we? Here we are, and we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour. Rotation. 666 orbit. 66,000 miles an hour. This is the one that globalists need to be ashamed of. This is the one that's going to make fools out of all the ball lickers. Sorry.
I hope so.
We enjoy that word.
I hope so.
I'm not the Messiah. I'm a very naughty boy. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
We need you to be exactly who you are.
Yeah.
Right, Matthew, right.
All right. Now, so there's 4 movements. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, according to the Copernican hypothesis.
Yes, hypothesis.
It's never been upgraded. It is a hypothesis. So, rotation, 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. Orbit, 66,000.6. This is the one that's going to kill them. They are destroyed through this one, let alone the others. Now you're going to have to help me here. I think it's 550,000 miles an hour that we are spinning around the... this is the Milky Way galaxy, like this, around here, and it's spinning around that away, and we are somewhere when the Milky Way galaxy, supposedly we're about here somewhere, 2/3 of the way out. So here's the center of the Milky Way galaxy. We are here, and it is spinning at 550,000 miles an hour. So, okay, is your head spinning yet?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting down. I'm dizzy, but I'm sitting down now. I'm fine.
Wait. There is more. I'm going to throw in some steak knives.
There is a lot more. That's true.
I've got steak knives. Hang on. Here's the steak knives now. If you buy now, if you accept this BS, I'm going to throw in the steak knives. Here they come. This galaxy is hurtling. I'm going to put that word down now because this is what Einstein and all of these buffoons say. Hurtling.
Hurtling means it's hurting humanity.
Yeah, hurting. It hurts. This Milky Way galaxy is hurtling at... I'm not even going to put the figure down because I don't want to remember this ridiculous figure. This is hurtling through space at...
gazillion miles.
A gazillion miles an hour. I will let them tell you the figure. Go to the globalists and say, how fast is our Milky Way galaxy hurtling through space? Please let them tell you the figure because we know these ones. A gazillion miles an hour. So, okay, Earth is rotating at 1,000 miles an hour, orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour, spinning around the center of the Milky Way galaxy at 550,000 miles an hour, and hurtling through space, the whole galaxy, all of it, at a gazillion miles an hour. Here comes the steak knives.
So the point is that how are we stuck in psychosis beyond imagination at so many levels possible, at such a deep levels? I mean, flat Earth is for sure the biggest deception and the idea of our universe. Yet the deception goes even further, and that's exactly what you were talking about: our separation from the creator of all that is self. Our separation from our true self, because that's who we are.
Because we can never understand this, not that we have to understand it, but because it is so ridiculously false, we have to admit that we are stupid. We know nothing. We have to admit this, but this is ludicrous. Why? I'll tell you why. Simple. Remember the train and the trees that are close and the trees that are far. Now, scientists tell you that the stars are billions of light years away. So let's take, someone needs to mute because I'm getting feedback. Let's get Orion. So we've got Betelgeuse. Hang on. Betelgeuse is red. We've got Rigel. Anyway, I'm forgetting the names right now. And then we've got the 3 belt stars of Orion. Those are the 7 prominent stars of Orion, okay? Now, there it is. That's Orion. There's the hunter. He's actually fighting with Taurus over here. Taurus is also... There's Aldebaran. There's only 4 red stars in the sky, and you'll always see these two, Betelgeuse and Aldebaran, talking to each other. There's Orion, and he's killing the bull Taurus. There's the head of the bull called the Hyades, and the Pleiades are over here, the 7 sisters, on the back of the bull, on the shoulder of the bull. And but the eye of the bull, that's the head of the bull, right? These shapes, they have been like this for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. I watch them year in, year out. Astrologers have been watching them year in, year out. They never change. They never. There's no parallax. There's no. See, scientists tell you that this star here is millions of light years further away than this one. Now, so if we're going that a ways at a gazillion miles an hour through the Milky Way galaxy, in our Milky Way galaxy, and most of these stars supposedly belong to other star systems. So let's say this one's, let's bring it down to miles, 20 miles. Obviously Rigel's, so they say it's I don't know, 40 million light years away, but let's bring it down to 20 miles. And if this one's 80 billion light years away, we'll give it 80 miles, okay? So this one's, some of these stars are closer than the other stars. Let's not make it too complicated. Let's make it simple. Some of these stars are much, much, much closer to the Earth than other stars. So let's take the orbit only the orbit of the Earth around the Sun at 66.6 thousand miles an hour. Where's the parallax? Where is the change in the shapes of these stars? There must be some kind of parallax. There must be some kind of change. They must be distorted over thousands of years. They never, ever, ever get distorted. They are always, the Pleiades are always at the 6th degree of Taurus. They've been in the 6th degree of Taurus forever and ever and ever.
Yes.
Our goal is always in Aries. It never shifts over to Pisces or Taurus next door.
And they should be moving too. If we're moving, everything else is moving around.
How do you explain the little movement of the stars in the sky? Like they move, but if I take my camera, often I zoom at the stars and I see them moving. They go all
flickering.
What do you explain cause that? What can cause that?
Electricity, vibration,
Electromagnetic field.
frequency. Vibration. But hang on, there's more. I want to throw in some knives and forks now.
Yes.
What about the proper motion of all of these stars? They have their own proper motion, guys. It's not just us. They are also, they're also going ping, fling, fling all over the place. Where's their movement? I'll tell you why they don't move. Tell you why exactly. Because they're stuck firm like a circuit board. They are sonoluminescent bodies of electrical thought beings, angels and archangels and demigods, stuck in the firmament. Stuck in the firmament. And God placed the stars of heaven in the firmament. They are in the firmament. They are not outside of the firmament. They're not flying around. They don't have proper motion. They are always there. They always have the same shape, year in, year out, forever and ever and ever.
So what about the stars and souls? In one of his videos, he was talking about when we die, we become one of those points of lights. What do you think about that?
Yes, we do, but that's not absolutely true. It is true when they say we become those stars, but who's we? Not me. I don't want to be one of those stars in the firmament. I want to go to Vrindavan, so I'm chanting so that I can go to
I'm going to start chanting too.
So what do you think this is?
Hare Krishna. I'm all over it.
The stars are in between before reincarnation on Earth? You mean that if I really do good on Earth, I'm going to end up higher than the stars?
Yeah, look, there's many places to go, guys. Look, let me just go back to this little illustration over here.
Nick, they say that shoot for the stars, but you will land further.
The moon. They say you'll land on the moon.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, the
no,
stars.
well, you can go
to the moon, because even if you miss, you will land among the stars.
You can go to the moon. The moon's a great place to go. The rishis go to the moon. They are called lunar people. The people who go to the sun, they go to the soul. They go to Sol Invictus. There are people who come from here who are living in the sun, and they are blessed, but not as blessed as the ones who go to Vrindavan. It's great to go to the sun. It's great to go to the stars. You can go wherever the hell you want. But from those places, you can still be asked to come back and do more service, or you can be caught up. You know. But when you go to Vrindavan, you never, ever, ever leave Vrindavan. So what they say in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is that there are 5 kinds of love that we can express toward the Creator. The first love, if you have neutral love for the Creator, you go to the bright white light. This is where you go and you you basically commit spiritual suicide by going to the white light. That's the white light of God. This is like a train. This is the body of the train with souls in it, and this is like the light of the train. If you want to go to the light of the train, well and good, but you can go inside the carriages of the train and you can be inside the train. You don't have to go to the white light. Here, people who have neutral love for God, they don't want any activity. Here is activity. Now, the love that you can express for the Creator here is fraternal love, paternal love, and conjugal love. Here you have worship of the Creator. That's why He's sitting on a throne. This is where all your churchgoers, they want to worship God. They want to serve God. And these are all the universes that exist there. They are spiritual worlds. Here, these little bubbles, these are all physical universes. These are probably all parallel universes. Who knows? But that's Brahma.
Where would the parasitic controllers go?
They stay here forever, man, in hell.
So we can't go to hell.
Yeah, well, I suppose you can. Yes, you can if you're really, really what's the word? Incorrigibly.
You're
wicked. Incorrigibly. Yeah.
But you know, they enjoy hell, so they're not going to have a bad time in hell.
Exactly, sister. They love it. They love it. And they love coming up to our plane, pretending to be aliens, Anunnakis, reptilians, draconians, and blah, 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 and controlling us, swapping technology for slavery and raping our children. So that's why the politicians are in the people trafficking business, because they actually use little children to give them to these subterraneans to rape them and murder them and bring them back to their place and just butcher them, and we're just basically a harvesting, you know, farm for them, just like they do at the abattoirs and with cows and pigs and chickens and all sorts of animals that, you know, these people who love to eat animals' bums are doing. You know, they put them in cages and then, you know, slit their throats and eat their bums. You know, I mean.
Well, I heard that they're taking the homeless. They have already taken 150,000 homeless, then they cannot find them where they are.
Yeah, there's a lot of missing people.
There they are. There they are, right there. Right there. Have a look at those names of those places, mate. Have a look at that. Atala, Vitala, Sutala. I think I need my glasses. Tatala, Matalaya, Matatala.
It sounds like Nutella, the chocolate toxic poison.
Hey, yeah, the Nutella, you just said that. The toxic chocolate.
Yeah, the toxic. Oh,
toxic.
it's sweet. It's sweet. Come and eat it. It will take you right into hell.
Exactly.
So when we die,
it's amongst the most toxic things you can eat.
So when we die, it's the white light, and then we can choose where we want to go from there?
Well, it's not about choosing, it's about spiritual force. If you have vibration enough to go above, if you've got mental force and your soul is stronger than this place, you automatically just go up to here. Some people are too weak. A lot of the gurus...
So they stay on the earth plane after...
Well, I don't know. They can go to the white light forever. You can go to Brahmajyoti or Brahmananda. It's called Brahmananda, the bliss, the impersonal bliss of the Lord. It's not evil. It's good. It's a good place. But you do not have activity. Here you experience oneness with the Creator. That's all. Whereas here you experience oneness with difference.
So
the most sacred.
With my lie in the heart, I should access right on top.
Yeah, the most sacred doctrine you can learn is to have oneness, inconceivable oneness with difference, and that's where you can experience. So you've got impersonal, neutral love for God, adoration for God. Here you worship God, and that's your relationship. You'll be a worshipper of God, doing service for God forever. Or you can be the brother or sister of God, or the mother or father of God, or the wife or husband of God. This is the alchemical marriage. This is where, you know, the marriage of the bride, the wedding feast of the bride. This is where the scriptures say, come to the marriage, and you can be married with the Lamb. The Lamb is Krishna. It's Christ, the Lamb of God. So you can actually have that kind of a relationship. That's how the Creator wants. He wants us to be father, brother, lover. You know. So
why not itself? Well, I mean, can you also be God itself, the essence of God?
You are. Qualitatively, we are one and the same with God. It's just that we are not one and the same quantitatively. The quantity it's like a drop of water, yeah? You get a drop of water and it's made of hydrogen and oxygen and, you know, whatever, maybe there's other particles of stuff in it, but that drop of water is the same as the constitution of the ocean. Sodium, I guess the ocean's got sodium chloride in it, and hydrogen, oxygen. So, but the drop is qualitatively one and the same. But when you put it in the ocean, it merges with the ocean. It's still there. It's still an individual, but it's now merged with the ocean. But it's, I guess, but you can never say that it is quantitatively the same as the ocean, because it's still only a small quantity. So you will always be You will always have your ego. You will always have your mind. You will always have your intelligence. Because those three things, the Creator has made us in such a way. He has 8 external energies, okay? So 3 are subtle energies, and 5 are gross. And so the gross energies are ether, fire, air, water, and earth. You cannot deny that you are not made of earth, water, air, fire, and ether, because your earth is what is solid, everything that is solid. Water is everything that is liquid in your body. Air is everything that is gas. Fire is everything that is radiant, so all the heat in your body. And ether is the well, it's basically the glue that, you know, binds all of these. Ether,
Or the
everything
energy.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, energy. Yep, energy. Okay, so these are what's called the 8 external energies of the Creator. And the 3 subtle ones are false ego.
What is it? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
False ego.
False ego. Okay.
Mind, and intelligence. So, but these 3, they are material. So the false ego is not the true ego. Ego is not a dirty word.
No.
This is the material mind. See, a lot of heliocentrists, they've got a very good mind, very clever, and they're intelligent. They are intelligent, but materially, they haven't spiritualized. We have these in their spiritual form. We have spiritual intelligence, we have spiritual mind, and we have spiritual ego. This is why we have to get out of the lower mind, the lower nature. Even though it's subtle, we have to transcendentalize and actualize our being by escaping this gross world and transmuting and sublimating our subtle energies. So our intelligence should not remain. This is why we 4 on this show, on this panel, we are very, very fortunate and very blessed, beyond what you can imagine, because we are humble enough to accept the truth that comes in our face, and we look at the evidence. This is a spiritual mind. These guys with the false ego, they do not have this. They probably will not have it. They probably cannot actualize it. They can't. It's a condition of the heart which causes them to, which prevents them from actualizing the higher ego, the higher intelligence, and the higher mind. And so, when in astrology, the false ego is the ascendant sign. So mine is Leo. So my body is Leo. I have a Leo body. That's the body. The ascendant sign. It's the earth sign. It's the character, the personality. My false personality is Leo. My mind is Pisces. This is the moon. And this is the sun. The soul invictus, the intelligence. So my intelligence is Aryan. It's here. It's cerebral. It's the I am. It's the higher mind. The cerebrum is higher than the cerebellum. So it's fiery. It's fiery intelligence. It's mystical intelligence. All the fire signs are mystical. Period. All of them. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. They are all intuitive, mystical. Okay. So, but the mind. I
always found you were a very mystic man, so it goes good with you.
Yeah. My 2 children are both fire signs.
Nothing is by mistake, guys. Look at the sun, the moon, and the ascendant, and you will understand the nature of everyone. You will understand all their workings, all of them.
That's
now,
true.
Yes, what we have to do now is we have to ascend. We have to sublimate the ascendant, the moon, and the sun. We can't be ruled by these stars. A wise man. A fool is ruled by his stars. This is why astrology can be a 2-edged sword. That's why astrology gets such a negative rap, because it can be. People are ruled by their stars. A wise man rules his stars. And so these grosser energies, they are each of those. So Saturn is the ruler of Earth. Water is Mars. Air is Mercury. Fire is Jupiter. And ether is Venus. And so there you have the 7 planetary bodies corresponding with all the creative, and this is how the creation is caused through these bodies on the ecliptic. Remember the dome, and remember the 7 spheres below the dome. Those 7 spheres are turning and turning and turning, and they are churning out humans all kinds according to their configurations. When Jupiter is squaring with Venus, when the Sun is opposing the Moon on a full moon, these are all producing children of different kinds on this Earth.
Yeah.
So Santos, I have a question, the classical question, and that is, the same Supreme Creator that we are talking about has created all these layers, including the hell zone.
Yeah.
Right? So the people or the parasites who live in the dungeons of the dark zones of hell, and they're attracted to it, it's like they almost have no choice.
Yeah, they're just doing what they do.
So then, I've been practicing the I am principles, the I am discourses, taking on the totality of beingness, of godness in I am everything that is, including the dungeons and including the light. I am all of it, yet within that active, not non-active, meaning that a lot of people who sit in meditation, they don't think they need to do anything for the world, or they need to shift it at all. It's in perfect order. Yet at the same time, you can be the I am presence of all that is, and at the same time make huge shifts and bounds on the earth and what's going on. And is that possible to actually help the darkness to come to the light somehow? Or is this the structure of the universe?
Well, this is why in the gospel it says that when the Lord was crucified or died and went to hell for 3 days, he went where to preach to the demons? He went to hell. And this is not literal. It's not literal. What it's saying is that the mercy of the Creator is extended to those in all the 7 subterranean planets. The mercy reaches the length, the depths, and the width of all creation. So when the Lord dies, so at the Tropic of Capricorn, when the Sun dies on the ecliptic on the 21st of December through 25th of December, Christmas Day, when Sol Invictus is reborn, the invincible Sun, he goes down to hell to preach to the demons. So what that's saying is literary. It's not literal, but it's saying that the mercy of forgiveness is extended to all creatures. All are created. Mercy, there is a potential for the whole universe to come to the light and glory of truth. There is potential. It may not happen.
So
but
Santos,
here's
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
hold
ahead.
the question, because we'll finish this off nice and tight. Thought from before. Here's Firmicus Maternus, 4th century astrologer. This is 1600 years old, and this is what all astrologers say, guys. This is why astrology has been so demonized and stigmatized, because it is the true syncretic wisdom of the universe. And that's why the controllers tell us that it's from demons and it's evil. Of course they do. Here's Firmicus. In the first place, my dear Lolianus, we must be aware that God, the Creator, copying nature, has made man in the image of the universe. Remember those 7 planets. Saturn first, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, middle. Venus, all the girls are down the bottom. Venus, Mercury. Mercury is considered to be a girl. It's hermaphrodite. And then Moon. So the girls are the sub-solar, and the big boys, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, they're on top of the sun. And so as they turn and churn around, they made me on the 24th of March 1963, just like this. What you see is the product of the stars, those 7 stars lined up on March 4:30 in the afternoon in Myrtleford, Victoria, on the 24th of March 1963. You see the effect of those planets.
So the consciousness that we embodied when I don't like to say born because I'm never born, I don't die, but when I get out my mother's belly, the consciousness that I embodied, what it's projected from the stars, like at the exact moment, what there's like a plasma light coming into me, giving me consciousness. Like, how does it operate? Do you have any idea?
Well, oh, okay. Well, it's like this. Jupiter, if he's in Pisces, which he was in my birth chart, he's very happy in Pisces because he's the ruler of Pisces. So he gives essential dignity to you. So your soul is born while Jupiter is in Pisces. He is channeling that Piscean energy through his magnanimous, generous light. The most beautiful light of all lights is Jupiter, as they say. Nothing is more beautiful than Jupiter's light. And actually, this guy says that if everything was Jupiter, all men would be immortal. But the Creator has caused the other planets to grind down the constitution of man. I'll read that in a minute. But what he's saying is that, so I got a Piscean Jupiter in my birth chart. I had Saturn in Aquarius, which is also dignified because Saturn is the ruler of Aquarius. So I've got a Saturnian Aquarian energy about me. I've also got the Sun in Aries, so I get 4 points of essential dignity because the Sun is exalted in Aries. So, and I've got an ascendant is in Leo. So all of those 12 passive, mental, spiritual energies aligned with the 7 planets, which are active, physical attributes and energies. Those 7, combined with the 12, were mixed when I was born in such a way that I came to the world in this particular way. So those 19, remember the number 19 is a very sacred number, guys. It's one of the holiest numbers. 7 and 12 make 19. The flower of life, 19. The flower of life. Okay? So 7 is God's holy number. It's a physical number. It's the number of the 7 Elohim. 12 is the spiritual number. The 12 Titans, the 7 Olympians, they're always warring against each other. Are they not? The 7 Olympians on Mount Olympus, that's the 7 planets. That's the mountain I showed you inside the dome. There's only that going on. There's nothing else. If you focus everything on that ecliptic and the 7 and the 12, you'll know everything because that's all there is. There's nothing else going on. So he made man in the image of the universe, a mixture of 4 elements, fire, water, air, and earth, so that a well-proportioned combination might produce the living being as a divine imitation. With his divine skill, he so composed man that the whole force and essence of the elements is collected in that small body. In this way, he prepared a lodging for the divine spirit, which descends from the heavenly soul to maintain the mortal body. This spirit, though fragile, is nevertheless a likeness of the spirit of the universe. Thus man, like a tiny universe, is sustained by the everlasting fiery movement of the 5 planets and the sun and the moon. Okay, and so the one about Jupiter, which I said I'm going to read.
What is the name of that book? I'm going to order it.
This is the best. This is my favorite astrological book, and I've got a ton of it. Mathesios.
Okay.
It's kind of blurry. Okay.
Mathesios?
Mathesios.
Oh yeah, I see.
Comes from the word.
Oh, math. Mathesios.
Yeah, math, exactly. It comes from math, and math is matter, mother, material, matter, and so it's the matter, mathesios, of spirituality.
That's
Okay, because
beautiful.
I'm interested in astrology and reading books on astrology, but pretty much what you find is they're going to tell you, okay, you're that sign and you're good for that, you're good for that, no good for... Like, they're going to try to describe you, try to describe your personality according to the astrology, which is okay, can be related in some way, somehow, but I think it's more spiritual than anything, astrology.
Yeah, if you watch my presentations, by the time you finish watching all my presentations, you will be a competent astrologer, because astrology must be syncretic. You must put theology into it. You must put alchemy into it. You must put all the syncretic studies into it. You can't just learn from one branch of astrology. Everything must be thrown in. Everything.
Santos,
Yeah.
how long have you known about the flat Earth?
Good. You asked that question at the start. Probably about all my life. When I was a Jehovah's Witness, I used to laugh at the flat Earth. We used to read the Watchtower and Awake magazine and all the Watchtower and Track Society publications, and we would have pictures of tortoises holding up the flat Earth. And I remember as a little boy laughing because I went to kindergarten and saw that it was a globe, didn't I? So I've known about the flat Earth all my life. The question is, when did I stop laughing about the flat Earth and taking it seriously? Well, about 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
And,
okay.
Okay, so how, I mean, your body of information is so deep going into astrology and whatever you're talking about. It's like I have to live many lifetimes in order to learn all the things you know inside of one body and one brain. Yet at the same time, all of the sudden, you have all this information also about the flat Earth and the movement of the sun and everything on top of the flat Earth. I mean, where did you get all your information on the flat Earth?
Studying, accepting research, accepting evidence, accepting facts, opening the heart. It's not going to hurt you. Someone comes to you with a new theory. It's not going to hurt you. When I was a young boy, I started learning languages. I can speak on many levels 7 languages, some more competent than others. Obviously, English is the most competent that I speak. And why did I do that? Because I knew that it was not going to be a burden to learn a language. It was not going to be heavy to carry Italian around with me. I'm not carrying Italian with me, you know, in a sack on my back. It's part of me. It's in me. So and you know, very wise people would say that it's not burdensome to learn another language. It's not burdensome to know more than, you know, expand your consciousness, expand it. Why limit it? Why have a narrow mind and say, oh no, this is what I believe in, and your church is wrong? When I was a Jehovah's Witness, I got into trouble so many times because when I knocked on people's doors, rather than preaching to them to try and, you know, save them with all my opinions, sometimes, you know, I'd knock on the house of Jews, Muslims, Hare Krishnas. I would listen to them. And the brother or the sister next to me, they'd be irritated and they'd be, preach, don't listen.
If we don't go, Santos, if we don't go beyond stuff we already know, we will never grow, never. So we have to go beyond what we already know. Question everything, very important. But it's just that I never stopped questioning myself. I had the cable guy here today. He came to transfer my internet modem and everything, and I opened up to him, and the guy saw it right away. He saw it right away. He said, yeah, I never stopped. I said, I looked at him, I said, you just never stop thinking about it. That's all it is. Because the moment you start questioning your reality, you're going to realize that, whoa, what I've been fed is all scrap.
Yeah, sad are the ones who refuse to look at this evidence. Sad. It's very, very sad to see. It's creepy. For me, it's creepy. These people who are refusing the geocentric flat Earth with all the evidence that is abounding, it is so creepy. These people are creepy.
They're angry
if you
too.
point them the evidence, they don't see it. It's like, come on.
No, I got into it today with the man. I wasn't fighting with him, but he's been on me for weeks, and he just keeps commenting back and forth. And I told him, you just won't open yourself up to it. All you have to do is open yourself up to it. It's not. I said, wake up and then talk to me. I was like, go show me a curve and then come talk to me. But he's just completely closed down and angry about it. Just like
Well,
what you said.
unfortunately, I was rude, and I told someone, you know, I'm sure you're hurting because you have a blue ball.
That's awesome. I love it.
Because there's no end to this. If you want to play with this, I mean, it just gets over. So I have learned my line, how to just stop it right there.
Exactly.
I love that. I don't know if you don't mind if I use that one.
No, please go ahead, use it.
I can't use that, sister, because I've made a vow. I'm not gonna. I probably will.
But you know, it's not just the men. Also, women have blue balls because they have dysfunctional masculinity in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because the controllers have also been distorting people's hearts and minds with perversity. You know, effeminizing men and masculinizing women. That why leave them alone? You know, why do this? What's this agenda? Why? To confuse us, to stop us from wanting to procreate with the opposite sex, from wanting us to stop seeing the opposite sex as attractive. That's natural. What's wrong with that? I'm not, you know, having a go at homosexuality. I know, because I know from my astrological wisdom that homosexuals actually come to this plane through the stars. I mean, if I've done the charts of many homosexuals and seen that. I've seen the cause of their homosexuality, you know, and it's usually has to do with the mutable signs, Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces and Virgo. And so those mutable signs, and Mercury and Mars, when Mercury is conjunct Mars, for instance, and say in Virgo or something like that on the ascendant or on one of the angles, that brings in homosexual tendencies and inclinations. It actually comes through a natural process. But what they are doing is they are creating an unnatural homosexuality where they are actually, with BPA plastics and hormones and estrogens and testosterone, they are actually changing in foods with all of these animal products they're putting in foods. They are actually making individuals become homosexuals despite their stars, which are heterosexual. And this is an aberration.
And also there is
interesting take.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Oh no, I was just saying that's a very interesting take, because I totally agree with him that people come here homosexual and that's part of their path, but there is a synthetic element to it as well.
Well, I did a study because I was on instinctive diet. Instinctos only eat food as it is. They don't combine it or cook it or spice it or anything. And during those studies in France, I learned that when they put animals, like let's say apes, under pressure, under stress, and they give them processed foods, unnatural foods, in 3 generations, a lot of the apes became homosexuals.
Oh, that's interesting.
And they also started masturbating a lot more. Like,
that makes sense.
on
They're hypersexual, really. They become hypersexual. It's that lower vibration, you know, where they're stuck in their lower chakra system. That's where they're trying to keep people. That's why everything's about sex everywhere you turn.
Yeah, and that's why the entire porn business, is just in the lower chakra.
That's right.
That's why they show us a fake blue ball with sex written on it. It's all about it. And that's what they want us to. They perverted our collective mind. That's what they did. They perverted our collective mind, and now, I mean, we have to shine so much light to. That's why we come together. Now we're waking up humanity. It's what's happening.
So I have to go, you guys. I have to get off soon because I have an appointment at 7. But I wanted to ask one more question about the coming of Christ, the second coming, how do you explain that to people? I want to see if I have the same understanding of that.
Well, he's already come, and it is Christ consciousness or Krishna consciousness.
Okay,
Same thing, no difference. And it doesn't come in a literal way, it comes in a literary way or in a symbolical, figurative way, but it does come. It's not. I'm not saying it's not real. This is where your literalists and your materialists attack and say, oh, you just denied the Christ. No, no. It did come, the first coming, it has come in the second coming, and it will keep coming. It's levels of consciousness, of Christ consciousness, that visits the earth to elevate and lift man out of his false ego, out of his material mind, out of his material intelligence. And this is what the geocentrists are not getting. They are not accepting the second coming of the Christ. Most of your flat earthers, most of them, I would say about 80%, are spiritualists. Some belong to churches and they believe in their bearded God. Others like me are a spiritualist and a transcendentalist that accepts the Krishna, Christ consciousness and the source that has returned. And others have their own way of seeing God and the Creator, but they are spiritualists. On the right side, we have the geocentrists, and they have transcendentalized. They are spiritualists, and the ones who haven't accepted this Christ consciousness that has returned with second coming, they will be heliocentrists, and they will stay heliocentrists, and they will be herd crowd mentality types. They're not going to get it. They're materialists. Intelligent?
I have a question for you. I have a question for you because there obviously a major awakening going on. We all feel it. But the big, massive shift or paradigm change, and I was saying it in another hangout, and I think I must have picked it up from you in one of your videos years ago maybe, but now we are in the age of Pisces, right? Will the major big change only occur when we shift to the age of Aquarius, or it gonna happen before? You think, like, is this just because everything is related? We're not in the age of Pisces for no reason. We're not in 2016 just for fun. They manipulate everything. So will the major, is that flat earth awakening coming out on purpose to wake us up to shift to the age of Aquarius, which is an age of enlightenment and all that? What's your opinion?
Yes, brother, yes. You see, the reason why the geocentrists who are stubborn believe that the flat earth is a psyop is because they don't understand that at every level there is an awakening, even among the elites and the controllers. The controllers are fed up themselves with their nasty little games. And many of the elite families, you know, that we've known to be very, I don't know, evil, I would say, like the Guelphs, the Windsors, who are Guelphs, the black nobility families, you know, Orsini, Aldobrandini. I don't have any hatred toward these families, and may the universe bless them and help them. But amongst these families, there are very intelligent, spiritualized, transcendentalized people. Have a look at Leo Zagami. Leo Zagami is a friend of mine, and he's published a lot of material against these Freemasonic organizations that have been infiltrated by the Rothschilds and other Guelph, Venetian, Phoenician, Canaanite family. I'll get to that another time. These Guelphs have been ruling the world from Venice, and they've been controlling humanity through fiat currency and banking and all sorts of unscrupulous activities. And a lot of these families, they've had enough, man. It's done. Their games they're pathetic now. You know, all of these false flag terror attacks. There's no terror. This war on terror is a farce. It's ridiculous. People are waking up, and the big thing, these families like the De Medicis, the Farnese, and the Borgia. The Farnese and the Borgia, they founded the Jesuits, right? So yes, they did an evil to us. You know, I'm very connected to the Borgia family because my mother grew up in Borgia. When I went to Italy in 2013, I visited all my Calabrian relatives in Borgia, from the Borgia family who created the Jesuits, right? So they've had enough. Leo Zagami is exposing this. He's showing how, you know, well, he's one of these from these aristocratic bloodlines. He's related to Queen Elizabeth from the Beauce-Lyon family, another Guelph black nobility family. Now, why were they called black? Because of their black deeds. They're not darker than anyone else.
Like the
you
Black
know?
Pope. Like the Black
George,
Pope. Because of his
George Bush, Barack Obama, these are all Guelphs. They're all Guelphs. They're all Khazarian Guelphs, you know, from Venice, the Phoenicians, and their Phoenician maritime admiralty laws, which we need to escape from. So they have been, since the days of Columbus and Magellan and Copernicus, they have been hiding the true cosmologies, because up until that date, everything in history was flat Earth. Yeah. Up until Copernicus, really, or you could say probably Galileo Galilei, 100 years later. Even Giordano Bruno was seduced by the globe. He was preaching Copernican BS. So this happens because those families were very corrupt at that time. It appears that some are turning, and they are turning. Look at Leo Zagami, man. He could be, you know, he's a 98-degree Freemason. That's the top. He's been to the top and seen all this child sacrificing. He's seen what they're doing. This, he calls it the bourgeois that have taken over the aristocracy and are ruling the world like scoundrels, you know. And they've been protecting this lie about the globe for 500 years and pushing it in our face, in our kindergartens. Globalism. Oh yes, Hillary. Oh yes, Hillary Clinton. We know the Earth's a globe. Why are you even mentioning it? Why does she have to end her speeches with "and the world is a globe"?
Exactly.
Globalism. They're spreading globalism, and it's bullshit. And so,
not only that, they teach it to the kids. They teach it to the kids in school. My kids go to school.
Well,
they come
course.
back every day with freaking bullshit from space. I received an email from the teacher the other day because they went to the Cosmodome in Laval, and she sent me a video of the Cosmodome. What do you think I'm going to do now, Santos? Honestly, you think I'm going to let that email sit there? No, I'm going to freaking reply to it, and I'm going to forward it to all the teachers so they try to wake up, to at least realize that they're teaching lies to the kid, that it's all an illusion. Like, wake up at one point, teachers.
Yeah. That guy, Max Egan, who I watched the video today going off on you and all of us on the Flat Earthers, Santo, when I looked him up on Google, the first description of who he is a globalist.
Oh,
and I was like, well, there it is. There's the lie. Okay, moving on now.
Yeah, look, I feel sorry for Max because we were very, very good friends. I've been to his place a few times to visit him, and everything's pretty cool. On that level, I have nothing against Max. But yeah, have a listen to Max carefully, and you'll see that his message is very depressing. You know, it's suffocating. A lot of people have written to me saying he just saps all your energy within 10 minutes. They're just burdened down with grief. It's horrible. You know, it's horrible. He needs to lighten up, man, and he needs to. Yeah, they want to. A lot of people have written to me saying that they want to slash their wrists after they've listened to 5 minutes of him. And the thing is, we need to reach out to people like Max, ridiculing evidence that's in his face. And why is this? Well, because he's an intelligent materialist. And it's very, very sad. It's very sad to see. And we need to work against the globalists. We need to work against these entities because they have made this concept so that we have scarcity and shortages because the globe is restrictive. Whereas this rolled out carpet of the Quran that Allah made, the carpet of Sol Amun, Sol Invictus, that Sol Invictus is riding on his magic carpet as he does his 24-hour turns every day, that sun, that is Krishna, the crested one in the sky, and the moon is Radharani, his consort. Those are the ones that are giving us this spiritual wisdom. As it says in the scriptures in the book of Joel, in the last days, they will be prophesying. And where are the prophets? Well, they're all false prophets. They're saying that I'm trying to, cause distraction in the alternative media and all of this rubbish. But what I'm doing is exposing the false prophets. The false prophets are making another bullshit alternative media. So the people jump out of the frying pan into the fire. They think, oh, well, let's go and see what the alternative media is doing. Well, let's go and see if Max Egan's on this flat Earth thing, because he's a alternative media. Are we going to allow these false teachers to pervert the minds of the people who are coming out of Babylon the Great and to throw them back into Babylon the Great? Or are we going to help them to return to Christ and chant Haribol and Harinam, the Mahamantra, so that they can get the hell out of this place? Oh no, let's deny the Creator and let's continue to support relativity and gravity. Gravity, what a crock! Like I'm upside down.
Are you gonna let the system kill your brothers and sisters? Like that's what's happening. They're killing each and every one of us individually, little by little. Like we have to wake up for our brothers and sisters. That's why I came up. Sure.
And that's why they also have blood. They have also blood DNA in all the vaccines and in all the chemtrails, and it's the entire. Yeah, the bloodshed.
It's getting ridiculous, that thing, the chemtrails. Wow.
Before you get on to that, I need to take off, you guys. I planned for 2 hours.
So we're going to stop it there, too, because Santos told me 2 hours was good, but we're going to do another one, because if we make it too long, people don't really watch it anyway, but it would be interesting to do another one, Santos, anytime. Touch other subjects, or maybe you want to add something to finish with.
Yes.
Yeah, sure, anytime.
Well, Brother Santos, I was a born-again Christian all my life and took off from the church when I was in my 20s, and I was just searching for truth, because I knew something was wrong. And I came upon your videos years and years later, but it really shifted my consciousness when I started watching your astrotheology videos. I was like, this is what I've been looking for. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it really, really changed my life to know that truth.
Thanks,
yes,
Jennifer.
thank you.
You are really a great light worker on this plane, for sure. You are a light worker. Keep shining your light bright, my brother. You are doing a very good job. Don't care about what people say. People talk. That's all they do. They talk. So shine your light. That's what I have to say to you.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Look, and I'm only going to do it better. I promise. I promise that.
You're always doing better. There is no other choice. You are always doing better. And thank you for being with us. It was very, very beautiful.
Thanks, guys. Much love. Next time.
Much love.
Namaste. Namaste, guys.
Thank you.
I'm going to hang up.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Radhe.
Yeah, don't hang up yet. Oh, so.